Warm greetings from TNV Academy. Today in this session, we will discuss about the scatter diagram. However, before we start, let me tell you about the key deliverables of this session. During this session, we will be discussing about the following concepts. What is a scatter diagram? What is a scatter diagram used for? What are the types of scatter plots? What are the benefits of using a scatter diagram? And how to make a scatter diagram? So let's begin our discussion and know what is a scatter diagram. The scatter diagram is also called a scatter plot chart, XY chart, and correlation chart. A scatter diagram is a two-dimensional graphical representation of a set of data. The scatter diagram graphs pairs numerical data with one variable on each axis to look for a relationship between them. If the variables are correlated, the points will fall along the line or curve. The better the correlation, the tighter the points will hug the line. The scatter diagram is one of the 7 basic quality tools used in root cause analysis. Scatter diagrams are used and applied in several ways, where the most important benefit is showing the correlation between two variables. The scatter diagram will visualize in an easy to observe way if the data points are positively correlated, negatively correlated, or there is no correlation between the two variables. Most often, a scatter diagram is used to prove or disprove cause and effect relationships. While the diagram shows relationships, it does not by itself prove that one variable causes the other. Thus, we can use a scatter diagram to examine theories about cause and effect relationships and to search for root causes of an identified problems. For example, we can analyze a pattern or motorcycle accidents on a highway. You select the two variables, motorcycle speed and number of accidents, and draw the diagram. Once the diagram is completed, you will notice that as the speed of vehicle increases, the number of accidents also grows up. This shows that there is a relationship between the speed of vehicles and accidents happening on the highway. So let us now discuss what are the scatter diagrams used for. Scatter diagrams are used when you want to demonstrate the relationship between two variables or when you have to identify data patterns. The scatter diagram is used in many sectors such as in lean management to determine root cause analysis, in economics to illustrate relationship between two economic phenomena such as employment and output, in management to visualize how product inventories affect cost or delivery times, in market research to illustrate, for example, the relationship between advertising methods and sales. Let us now move ahead and discuss about the various types of scatter plot. You can classify a scatter plot in many ways. The most popular one is based on correlation and is extensively used in project management. According to the correlation, scatter plots are divided into the following 3 categories. The first one is positive correlation. The scatter plot with positive correlation is also known as a scatter diagram with positive slant. In this case, as the value of x increases, the value of y will increases too, which means that the correlation between the two variables is positive. If you draw a straight line along the data points, the slope of the line will go up. For example, if the weather gets colder, hot drink sales will go up. The second one is negative correlation. The scatter plot with negative correlation is also known as a scatter diagram with a negative slant. In this case, as the value of x increases, the value of y will decreases. If you draw a straight line along the data points, the slope of the line will go down. For example, if the cycle time of a workflow goes up, the number of tasks completed will go down. The third one is no correlation. The scatter plot with no correlation is also known as a scatter diagram with 0 degree of correlation. In this case, the data point is spread so randomly that you can't draw a line through the data points. You can conclude that these two variables have no correlation or 0 degrees of correlation. For example, if the weather gets hotter, we can't conclude that the sales of wooden chairs will go up or down because there is no correlation between the two variables. So we will now go ahead and discuss about the benefits of using a scatter diagram. The following benefits can define the importance of a scatter diagram. A scatter diagram visualizes the relationship between two variables. A scatter diagram is one of the best tools to show our nonlinear patterns. A scatter diagram provides a data to confirm a hypothesis that two variables are related. A scatter diagram provides the data to confirm a hypothesis that two variables are related. A scatter diagram determines the range of data flow, for example, the maximum and minimum values. A scatter diagram visualizes patterns that are easy to observe. Plotting of a scatter diagram is very simple. A scatter diagram establishes a relationship between two sets of numerical data. A scatter diagram can track patterns and trends of different measures. And finally, let us now discuss about how to make a scatter diagram. There are multiple ways to create a scatter diagram. If you want to create a simple scatter diagram with one click, then the best way to do so is by using an online scatter diagram maker, which is usually free to use. You will usually have to fill in predefined fields such as the chart's name, the Y and the Y values, series value, color and trend line. Click on the draw button and your scatter diagram should be ready. If you need more agility and you have to create a more complex scatter diagram, you can use Excel and PowerPoint. In order to make a scatter diagram, you will need to have some upfront data. First, collect pairs of data where you suspect a relationship. Input your data where the x-axis information goes in the top row and the y-axis data will go in the bottom row. Label your x and y-axis so you know what they represent. If you have the option to use color codes for each of your independent variables points, choose a color for your axis, your values and your chart title. So we have now come to the conclusion of this session. If you have any questions, then please feel free to discuss them in the comment section of the video and we will be really happy answering them. Till we meet next is best wishes from TNV Academy. Thank you.